Did anybody else find it weird that they sung the American anthem and the Canadian anthem, but not the Swedish anthem? Avs lose to the Ottawa Senators 4-3 in overtime in Game 1 of the Global Games in Sweden. The game on the whole was a fun one to watch, particularly the first period for the Avs. They got an early power play, and it didn't take long for the new guy, Sam Girard, to show just how good he was at skating. He makes it look effortless out there, gliding all over the ice and just flying past people. On top of that, Landy came out hot on his home turf, looking to make a difference. Unfortunately, the Avs don't manage to score on the first power play of the game. The Avs were clearly getting the better chances early in the game. 5 minutes in, some nice passing sets up Landy, who makes a great move to have a yawning cage on his backhand, and he just sails it wide off of the post. The 8th one of the season, and man, that one was a bit painful. But the good offensive pressure does reward the Avs as they gain another power play a little bit less than 7 minutes in. The Avs play aggressively on the power play, and eventually the second unit manages to come through. Kerfoot is going to do some nice work down below the goal line before passing it back up to the half boards to Wilson. While this is happening, you're going to see Yak come into the middle of the zone. Wilson's going to go back to Kerfoot down low, and a quick pass up to Yak for the snipe, and the Avs have the lead. Stockholm is now Yak City, baby, and it was good to see that second power play unit find a goal here, as there were some question marks on how it was going to actually run with Duchesne no longer on the team. If Yak can find his groove on that second power play unit with the great passing from Kerfoot, the Avs could really have something there. Unfortunately, the lead would be short-lived for the Avs, lasting just 20 seconds, and that would be the only lead they had for the entire game. Avs lose a face-off and the puck comes back to Carlson. He's going to find Stone, who's cutting up to the center point here. From there, unfortunately, the Avs are going to get caught all stacked up on the near side of the ice, a problem they've been running into a lot. Stone's just going to go across ice to Clayson, who has a mile to walk in, wind up, and bomb one past Varley. Would you like Varley to stop that one? Maybe. But there's letting your goalie see the shot, and then there's giving a guy a royal road all the way to the top of the circles to just unleash a missile. Little bit of a different story there, eh? Now with a tie game, Ottawa does make a bit of a push, but eventually things open up, and it's both teams going up and down the ice, back and forth. Some good fun hockey, good to see on the big stage like this. Despite the Avs outshooting Ottawa, it's Ottawa who's going to come through with a little bit less than 5 to go in the period. Ottawa manages to recover another rebound here to create a third chance opportunity. The puck at the near point is just going to go across the blue line to the far point to Oduya. It's left semi-unattended yet again. Luckily, Como is able to get over before Oduya can walk in too far. The problem is you have Barry and Girard as the pairing out right now, and Barry is quite weak in front of his own net here. He just simply gets out-positioned by Stone. Stone, with that position, manages to deflect the puck past Varley, and the Avs are now down 1. Overall, I do think Girard played a fantastic game tonight, and I'll get into that in a bit. And Barry wasn't particularly bad overall either, but when you pair them out together, it does feel awfully soft down low in the defensive zone. Now down 2-1, the Avs do get some more good chances through the rest of the first, including Gabe Bork having an open net to shoot at, and he just fires it right into Anderson on the far side of the net. You really could have been 3-1 for the Avs at the end of this first here, so you're happy with how they played in the period, just not happy with the result. The second period got off to a bit of a slow start. There were only a few shots for each team through the first 6 or 7 minutes, and then Ottawa starts to take over the possession game quite a bit, but it's the Avs who get the counter goal this time. Sam Girard is going to take the Ottawa Senators for a walk here, walking all the way up and down the blue line more than once, and then he's going to find Como sitting at the point for a one-timer, double tip off of Kerfoot and in. It's time to accept that Alex Kerfoot is the real deal, at very least on offense. He now leads the Avalanche in goals and seems to be slotting into the hole that Duchesne left at 2C very nicely. While I know that Bednar has said Compher is going to be the 2C, right now Compher is still playing with an injured thumb, and Kerfoot looks to be earning the job. It's very possible that Compher may have to earn it back from Kerfoot, which would be some good competition to have for the Avalanche down the middle. That goal was scored on the third shot of the period by the Colorado Avalanche, and they would end the second period with 3 shots total. For the second half of the period, and the game for that matter, Ottawa entirely took over the possession game, and the Avs started falling into old habits of failing to clear the puck out of their own zone and getting stuck in an unending dump it out and change cycle. It wouldn't even take 4 minutes for Ottawa to gain their 1-goal lead back. You've seen this before in this one. The Avs completely give up the far point with their high forward coming all the way down to the slot area. That makes it easy for Ottawa after winning the puck battle to get it across to that far point. Now this one, Varley should have had, but it bounces free and ends up in the back of the net. No excuses on that one. I'm sure Varley wants it back. Everybody knows he should have made that save. With that being said, Varley also got a 57-save win not too long ago, so you can't expect your goalie to win every game for you. Sometimes it's your offense that has to do the job. Avs squander any pushback they may have had after the goal by taking 2 consecutive penalties. They do a good job killing both of them, and then are rewarded when Nieto gets sprung on a breakaway and gets a penalty shot called. Not much of a move from Nieto on the penalty shot. I guess he thought he saw something and tried to pick his spot, but Andy got enough of it to send it high and wide. And once again, we're back to the idea that the Avs are getting good chances, they're just not capitalizing on them. It wouldn't be that far-fetched to say the Avs could be having a 2-goal lead heading into the third period, but they just didn't manage to get themselves there. Instead, we're down 1, and you know what? This is going to be good to see. The Avs down 1, young team, big stage. This is a real test for this team to see what they're made of. And the first half of that third wasn't very pretty. Ottawa was definitely getting the better of the chances, and the Avs, when they did get the puck, were settling for very low percentage plays in the offensive zone, shooting pucks intentionally wide, letting the defensemen shoot from far out with no real good traffic in front. It just wasn't the ideal situation you want to see from a team down a goal late. Finally, with 10 minutes left to play, the Avs start to get a couple shifts of pressure in the offensive zone. They're sustaining possession a bit, and I know it's a bit cliche, but when your best players are your best players, that's how you come back in hockey games. Landy's going to get the puck in the middle of the ice here. He's going to try to go back to Girard, but it's going to get blocked. He then does a great job to create something out of a broken play here, finding some open ice. You have Rantanen cutting to his spot, eventually down into the corner on that far side, and McKinnon waiting on the near side. And then the play develops extremely quickly with 2 very nice passes from Landeskog and Rantanen. In fact, it's so good, McKinnon doesn't even actually have to shoot it to get the goal. McKinnon tried to shank that one, but the play was just too pretty, and the puck slips into the net for the Avs to tie it up late in the third. Both teams do clam up a little bit after that and play for the point, and that's what both of them would get at least. A bit of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in regulation for the Avs on this one. If you look at the first 30 minutes, you're kicking yourself thinking, you know what, we could have won this game in regulation. If you look at the last 30 minutes, you're going, oh man, it's a miracle we got a point out of this one. In the third period, the Avs got just 5 shots on goal. That makes 8 through the second and third periods combined. They simply were not executing well enough. They were getting some shot attempts, but far too many blocked or going wide, things like that. They need to get better quality shots. Heading into the overtime, the Avs' first unit gets caught out for the first full minute of the period. They finally do manage to get a clear out of their own zone, but it gets a bit ugly on the change. As you can see, Karlsson has collected the puck and is already looking to turn up the ice. Rantanen is the first man for the Avalanche to get back to the bench, and you can see he's still a good ways away here. Nonetheless, Landeskog is jumping on a bit early, but he does get away with it. The second man off is nowhere to be seen. That leaves Andrighetto to be the third man onto the ice well behind the play. That creates a 3-on-2 for Ottawa. You have to respect Karlsson being the dangerous defenseman that he is. He puts himself in the perfect position to set up for a drop pass. The Avs can't defend it because of how late the change was. And then to make matters worse, Landeskog gets a little bit lost covering the third man, just kind of gets caught up in the slot, doesn't cover the cross pass, and it's a tap in for Stone. And so the Avs take the OT loss. But it was an exciting game and they get a point, so you're happy with that. And yet at the same time, there is so very much that they can still work on. Sticking with the positives here, if Sam Girard plays the next 3 games like he played this one, there is absolutely no way he's getting sent back to juniors. he's not afraid to hold onto the puck for extended periods of time, even when walking the blue line. And when you combine that with his great vision, particularly on the breakouts, he has all the makings of a high-end offensive D. I'm still not sold at all at playing him with Tyson Barrie, and if he does get moved away from Barrie, we'll see how he adapts to being the defender that they're more focused on covering, but we'll see in the next 3 games. While the Avs' problem tonight was lack of finishing, hopefully that gets cleaned up fairly soon as Comper gets healthy, Jost gets healthy enough to come back into the lineup, and it sounds like Kamenev will in fact be in once the Avs return to the States, so getting some of those more skilled players in should help that. That is the end of this video game review. Thank you for watching. By the time this is posted to YouTube, the next Sweden game will likely be less than 12 hours away, so be ready for that one. I'm Rudo3, and by some miracle, Dutchy didn't score in that game.